Let's try and get through this as fast as we can. Fresh off the heels of a 3-part story arc, the main series delivers a one-shot for issue number 54, a story taking place during the events of Fluttershy Leans In. While Fluttershy works on the sanctuary, it's up to Angel Bunny to keep the rest of the animals out of trouble until it's finished. The story was written by Rob Anderson, a writer that we really don't see too often. Despite being on the IDW team since late 2013, he's only written a total of 4 comics, this one included, and looking at his track record, it doesn't leave much hope. I'm not gonna beat around the bush here, people. This issue was boring. The whole time I found myself turning the pages not because I was interested in what was going on, but because I just wanted to get to the end. It's a simple premise, and it's a premise that can work, but what makes them work are the characters that carry it. How do they deal with it? How will their unique traits come into play to turn this simple premise into an entertaining story? In order for that to happen though, you need a character that's developed enough to be able to carry a story. The problem with putting one of the pets as the lead is that there's barely anything interesting about them. Hell, the only pets that have any semblance of a personality are Angel and maybe Opal. But even though Angel was the least boring choice they could have made among the pets, he still isn't enough to carry a whole story. A 5-minute short or a 3-page after story? Maybe. But a whole issue? Definitely not. Since this comic has similar beats to Just for Sidekicks, let's use that episode for comparison. While it is a very so-so episode and it's not one that I would rewatch, I at least had some mild chuckles when watching it. There were minor elements of tension and suspense that held on to the small thread of interest that I had, and that was mainly because it had Spike as the lead. Whether you like him or not, he's still an actual character. By that point in the series, he was defined enough to be able to have his own story. Angel Bunny and the pets are nowhere near that, and bringing in the CMC during the second act doesn't help anything because they're playing second fiddle to a second fiddle. This is why I really enjoy stories like Friends Forever number 7 or number 29, where a lesser developed character is paired with one of the main 6 or Spike, because then they don't have to bear the weight of carrying a story all on their own. Having a main character to bounce off of allows them to get the growth that they need so that they can eventually carry their own story. The lack of engagement is a common problem in all of the Rob Anderson comics. With how infrequently he's used, it makes me think that he's only called in when they need a quick comic while all the other writers are busy, and it shows. Friendship is Magic 54, like the vast majority of the one-shots in the main series, is an issue you can skip without losing much value. While the focus on the pets does mean that you don't have to see Fozgit's weird pony proportions as much, and he does a decent job at making Angel Bunny look expressive, that's nowhere near enough to save the issue. In the next story arc, Spike and Pinky are caught in the middle of a conflict between the Yaks and the Dragons, and that sounds like something worth getting invested in. So what did you think of Friendship is Magic 54? Swarm that comment section below or bug me on social media, and consider supporting me through Patreon or PayPal art commissions. Until next time, keep it sketchy, folks.